The financial crisis that we're currently in is a clear example that we really do not understand the connections that we have in our society today.
Organized crime is now making at a very fast pace revenues which may be compared to the GDP of small, medium countries. We need an innovative way of looking at them.
Can we predict the spreading of the next pandemic pathogen? Can we understand, according to the migration pattern of people, if we will have a resurgence of TBC? You know, we are at the edge of finally getting answer.
There's been talk about Twitter and Facebook triggering revolutions. The speed with which information propagates has certainly been a factor in things like financial crisis.
Everything is interconnected. That makes things so difficult. That requires new tools. Today we are understanding a lot about our physical world and about our universe. Also, we have invested a lot in understanding our environment, but so far there's a lack of understanding of socioeconomic systems.
We think absolutely now is the time to utilize ICT and put that together to try and understand our social systems.
So FuturICT, or FuturICT as we call our flagship project, is a response to the European flagship call. And they want to address really big problems with a substantial amount of money. We want to understand and learn how to manage in a sustainable way socially interactive systems. This is society on the one hand, but also information and communication systems of the future.
I'm completely intrigued by the idea that we can apply the mathematical and computational tools that we've used to understand our natural world, to understand how our global society functions.
How does complex, collaborative, purposeful behavior emerge from interaction of billions of individuals, each of them being complex, intelligent, having its own goals, aims and preferences?
Now, for the first time in the history of humankind, we can gather data on social behavior, individuals' behavior, the interaction of humans with infrastructures, with biological systems in a completely unprecedented way.
If we go back 15 or 20 years, we had very little data collected about the individual. Now we have lots of different devices. We have a laptop, we're connecting on the internet, we use our ATM card, we go on the rapid transit, we use our contactless card. Now we're generating lots of data about how society actually transacts on a day-to-day basis, but we don't really understand how it all hangs together.
The world is building a nervous system that continuously monitors what humans does, our interactions, our transactions, our travel, our mobility. And now with that kind of data, we are at a turning point in which we can imagine a new science of techno-social system or socio-technical system.
It's quite clear a business-as-usual approach will not succeed on these problems.
The challenges of the humanity in the 21st century are so big that no single institution, no single country can actually address them by themselves. So we need a federated effort.
You need an effort that combines scientists from computer complexity theory, from social sciences, from computer science and other disciplines to work together to be able to grasp the problem as a whole.
So we want to create something like a flight simulator for policy and economics.
It is going to be a simulation, visualization and data exploration infrastructure that goes order of magnitudes beyond what has been done today. This infrastructure will be driven by data collected on a global scale. This includes things like Twitter feeds that tell about earthquakes or revolutions. This includes traces, mobility traces from mobile phones. This includes data from public infrastructure and digital media on demographic trends or opinion shifts.
Well, first of all, we will have a system of sensors that receive inputs from stakeholders, from the society, from the internet, from the social networks, and analyzes this data and conveys the results of the data treatment to what we call the Living Earth Simulator, which basically is a platform for simulation, numerical simulations and agent-based simulations.
Now, you could imagine part of it actually as something like a populated virtual world that will create kind of realistic copies of our real world. We simulate them, but people can use them, such as Second Life, but a more realistic, a more serious version of that. And we could create a number of different copies of those virtual worlds, and in this way explore a number of different alternatives.
So we have Living Earth platform, and we're also going to have this global participatory platform which individuals can plug into, businesses can plug into, regulators can plug into, government can plug into, they can ask questions as well.
The FuturICT project will bring about breakthroughs in 3 key areas actually. One in ICT. We believe it will develop new tools of ICT, new methods of how we communicate and how we interact with our society. On the societal side, it will help us understand our social systems much better so that we become more aware of how we are behaving and what's going on in the world. This will enable policymakers to really make bigger decisions on our societies. We would have to understand how new elements of supercomputing could not only be used, but actually created using these paradigms.
Thus, maybe a small company could use the system to explore how will their market for the product change, say, through the Arab Spring? Or how will the market for the products change with the demographic development, with people getting older? So those are things that today only huge companies with an army of analysts and people who can do polling can actually answer.
Yeah, future ICT is important or essential in my opinion because it has the potential to change the way policymaking, economics, even social development are made. I see it as a possibility to put evidence-based to the front.
Just remember the damage that the financial crisis has caused, or the huge damage that crime and corruption or disease spreading causes. So if we can mitigate those problems just by 1%, then the project would pay off already multiple times. So it's a very good investment, in fact.
This is, I think, is exciting as the turning point from classical mechanics to quantum mechanics.
We'll be creating something new, not only new results, new outcomes, but actually a new way of doing science.
Basically, what we want to do is a sort of system that provides the self to society, a social awareness that is able, within certain desired limits and values, to provide guidelines for society to evolve.
I started my research because I believe that through science I could make my little contribution to build a better society for everybody. FuturICT put in an envelope the very same motivation, hope and passion of hundreds of the leading scientists in Europe and all over the world.
There are many open questions, but there's a way to go and we'll get there.